Everyone knows the Titanic sank after hitting an iceberg. But that is only the beginning of the story.
When I first walked through Titanic, it didn't feel like a ship. It felt like a floating palace.
Titanic was designed to feel like a world of its own. From these elegant interiors to its enormous size, everything was built to impress.
Inside, everything felt calm and luxurious. People were eating, talking, and enjoying the journey, completely unaware of what was waiting ahead. Inside the Titanic, everything still felt peaceful. Passengers walked through the elegant corridors, looking out at the vast Atlantic Ocean.
Step by step, he found himself on the grandest ship ever built. Ahead lay an endless ocean and an uncertain future. From the deck of the Titanic, the Atlantic seemed endless, calm, beautiful, and completely unaware of what was about to happen. He continued toward the upper deck, surrounded by the quiet rhythm of the ship.
From the front of the Titanic, the ocean seemed endless. The ship continued forward, unaware of the journey. On the deck, passengers enjoyed the peaceful journey, walking, talking, and watching the endless Atlantic. For them, it was simply another beautiful moment aboard the Titanic.
Then, something caught their attention on the horizon. At first, it looked like nothing more than a dark shape in the distance. But by now, the shape on the horizon was impossible to ignore. The iceberg was getting closer, and the Titanic. Now the danger was clear. The crew had only moments to react, but the Titanic was still moving forward. Every second was bringing the ship closer. From above, the scale of the Titanic was breathtaking. But ahead of this enormous ship, an iceberg stood direct between them was getting smaller. Now the iceberg was no longer just a shape on the horizon. It was enormous and dangerously close. The iceberg was now dangerously close. There was almost no time left. The Titanic was still moving forward, and everyone...
The impact finally came. The Titanic had struck the iceberg, and the calm journey instantly turned into panic.
Inside the bridge, the mood had changed completely. The collision was over, but the real danger was only beginning. The captain needed to know just how badly the ship had been damaged. First realized, water was already entering the ship and it was spreading. For the people inside, the situation was becoming dangerously clear.
Within minutes, the calm corridors of the Titanic were filled with fear. Passengers began rushing toward the upper decks, desperately searching for safety. But no one yet knew how serious the situation really was. Now there was no turning back. The lifeboats were being prepared and every second mattered. But there was one terrifying problem. There were hundreds of people and far fewer lifeboat seats.
The lifeboats were finally leaving the ship, but for those still on board, the fear was growing. Every minute made their chances of escape smaller.
The first lifeboat had finally reached the water. For those left behind, however, there was a frightening reality. There were still far too many people on the Titanic.
The Titanic was no longer level. Slowly, almost silently, the bow continued to sink. And for those still on board, there was nowhere left to hide. By now, the Titanic was no longer a stable place. Every step towards safety had become a struggle, and the people still on board were running out of time. The Titanic was now fighting gravity itself. The bow continued to disappear beneath the Atlantic while the stern rose higher into the night, and there was almost no time left.
By now, the Titanic had reached a point from which there was almost no return, and the stern continued to rise. For those still on board, time was running out.
Then, slowly, the Titanic disappeared beneath the Atlantic. More than a century later, its story still refuses to disappear.
For more real mysteries like this, subscribe to Atom to Future.